right, Fleshies? Welcome to the Boneyard Scribe. I am the Boneyard Scribe. Today we're diving into a tale that proves that summer dips are anything but refreshing. You might think you're cooling off, but what if the water had other things in mind? Get ready to reconsider your favorite swimming hole, because this story might just make you want to stick to a kiddie pool. Enjoy the chill, Fleshies, and try not to get pulled into it. And now, the drowning. It was one of those days where the thermometer showed 99 degrees and the real field temperatures were 103 degrees. Just walking out the door was enough to make you sweat. I was having none of it and decided to go swimming at the local lake. It was a lake I had never been to. I changed into my swimming suit, then slipped on a pair of sweats, grabbed the keys to my car and my towel, and then left the house. Yes, I locked it. Guess you can take the guy out of the city and move him back home, but you can't take the city habits out of him. I unlocked the car and got inside. It was miserable in the car, so it's a good thing that the car has air. When I arrived at the parking place at the lake, there was an odd chill to the air, despite there not being much shade. When I parked the car, I got out of the vehicle. Grabbing the towel and the keys, I closed the door, locked it, and then walked towards the lake. A sign before the gate clearly warned that if you decided to swim in this lake, you do so at your own risk. I'm pretty confident in my ability to swim, so I ignored the warning. I was about to open the gate when I developed goosebumps. Out of nowhere, a boy appeared just on the other side of the gate. The boy literally appeared, but from where? There were no other cars in the lot, and no one else was swimming. He looked to be around 6 years of age, much too young to be here by himself, which I find a little odd considering it's at least a mile to the closest house. "Please don't go swimming," he says in a voice that clearly was meant to be a warning. I notice that he looks a little bluish, and not just on his lips. I was so hot at the time that I dismissed it. "It's okay, kid. I think you should go home. Do you need a ride? Maybe to the hospital?" I heard a noise by my car and turned around to look at it. When I turned back to look at the boy, he was gone. Not one bit creepy, to be honest. I was feeling a little bit creeped out, but that lake looked amazing. I walked to the beach, laid down my towel, took off my shoes, my socks, and my sweats. I still had goosebumps. The water was warm, but not as warm as the air. I'd been swimming for about 10 minutes when I felt something brush against me. At first, I thought it might be a fish, but then something happened that made me leave the water. I felt a pair of hands grab my right arm and then start to lead me out of the water. I didn't need any help getting out. The arm grabbing me is all I needed. I have to admit that I was freaked out, maybe even screamed. But can you blame me? I was grabbed by a human, but there wasn't anyone else in the water with me. I dried off quickly, then got dressed, figuring that it was so hot in the car that I would finish drying off in it. Then I grabbed my stuff and left. A few days later, I allowed myself to kind of process what had happened after my ghostly encounter. I made my way to the town's historical society, where I knew I could find out some stuff about the kid and the lake. It ended up that one of my teachers from high school volunteered here, and she recognized me immediately. After some small talk, I mentioned why I had come into the historical society. Without a moment's hesitation, she went on to explain what had happened to my little friend to haunt the lake. Apparently, he had been swimming at the lake by himself and got into trouble. But without someone to rescue him, the kid never made it home. He was found by someone 3 days after he was unalived, and that ended the search for him. It would be another 5 days before he would be seen by someone at the lake. She admitted that the story was kept under lock and key, which is why I never heard it growing up. Now, it's said that he watches the lake, and when someone arrives to the lake by themselves, his presence makes the air a bit chilly. If you approach the gate, he'll appear, telling you not to go swimming, and then, if you do, then he'll get you to leave the water, so you don't suffer the same fate. I promised myself that day that I would never go swimming in the lake again. In fact, I bought and installed my own pool, so I know I can go swimming anytime I want to.
Well, Fleshies, that wraps up our soggy tale. Remember, if a helpful little boy tells you not to go swimming, you might want to listen, unless you fancy a ghostly escort out of the water. Stay tuned for Monday's story. Nature Guy X46 has been a little busy. Well, let's just say he's been occupied, that I've been working for you. Until next time, Fleshies, stay spooky and try to keep your feet dry. Goodbye, Fleshies!